You are at Lake Rant, where I rant about whatever my $15 a month plus patrons want me to rant about. You can get one of these by being one of those. This one's for James Camp Fortson, who says, rant about the Steely Dan song King of the World, or if not that one, Brooklyn owes the charmer under me. Thanks. Well, I like me some Steely Dan, and these are both pretty good songs. In fact, I have to thank you for reminding me of King of the World, because I don't really listen to Countdown to Ecstasy as much as a lot of their other albums, even though I do like Bodhisattva and Showbiz Kids, but it's just not the one that I tend to choose. But this song is pretty great. It's got all these weird, flittering, really like technical guitars, just like spacily coming in and out of the song. It's got a very odd sound to it. Definitely different from most Steely Dan songs. It's almost like a wake-up call when you get to the chorus and it snaps into sounding like more of a normal track from them. But apparently it's a song about the nuclear apocalypse. I had never really read the lyrics until just now, and I was like, oh, wow, this song is like about a guy in a post-apocalyptic world calling out on ham radio to see if there's anybody out there left who can join him to just kind of enjoy the last days of humanity. Basically, it seems as though he doesn't really know if anyone else is alive. So, you know, the king of the world line, any man left on the Rio Grande is the king of the world as far as I know. So basically, if there's anyone out there left, they might as well be the king of the world because there's nobody else there. Yeah, it's a pretty cool song. It's got a nice, like, proggy ending bit. Definitely one of the proggier Steely Dan songs. Very occasionally did they dive into more of a prog sound, like on Aja and stuff. But this is definitely one of their proggiest sounding songs, most futuristic sounding songs, since it does take place in a post-apocalyptic future. So yeah, pretty cool. Brooklyn owes the charmer under me, on the other hand. I could not figure out what the fuck that song was about. According to song meanings, I guess they had said it was about a neighbor who lived below them when they were in New York. But like the lyrics are so vague and you know, seem to be referencing things that only the singer could possibly, or only the writer could possibly understand. You know, like just lots of just references probably to small glimpses of moments that they caught out of this neighbor and their, you know, the people in their apartment, I guess. So it was not really easy to figure out what any of those lyrics meant per se, but just the idea that Brooklyn owes the charmer under me is apparently literally referring to the charmer who lives underneath them. I never would have guessed it, since obviously there's a sexual connotation to the charmer under me. You know, and it's a very sweet and sort of sensual song. It's laid back. It's got a nighttime vibe. It's a, you know, it's a song you could see fucking to. And I'm sure that Steely Dan was well aware of this. There's a lot of their songs that have a sexual double entendre, and, you know, this is just one more example. But, yeah, it's a good chilled out song. It's not necessarily my favorite track off of the album, but I do like that album quite a bit, so I've heard it, you know, a number of times. Definitely one to chill to, but yeah, I couldn't really get much more depth out of it as compared to King of the World. It is interesting to sort of contrast these two songs. They have very different vibes. But, yeah, man. Good shit. If you gave me, like, there's, like, certain Steely Dan songs that if you had told me to cover, I probably would have gone into a lot more depth on. But these ones are more just like, yeah, cool, Steely Dan. They got a lot of fucking songs.